In tonight's Talk at 10, Lauie Fine's lawsuit. The wife of former Syracuse University basketball coach Bernie Fine is suing ESPN, reporter Mark Schwartz, and producer Arthur Burko for libel. She says the sports network had questions about claims by Bobby Davis, one of the men accusing Bernie Fine of sexual abuse, but ran the stories anyway. Lauie Fine says ESPN's reporting ruined her life. Michael Benny joins me right now to talk about, lots to talk about, even though I think a lot of people would feel that this press conference today out at Belhurst Castle, it was anticlimactic. I thought that we didn't really get much information.
I didn't think there was much news to come out of it whatsoever, no.
Let's listen right now to Lauie Fine's entire statement today.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Today, through my attorneys, I have taken the first step towards restoring my good name. The lawsuit I file in federal court says it all. I have never engaged in and condoned despicable conduct falsely reported by ESPN, Mark Schwartz, and Artie Burko. Although these defendants have known me to be a decent and honorable woman, they have maliciously attacked me in order to attack my husband and to boost television ratings in the wake of the Penn State scandal. In pursuit of these objectives, ESPN, Schwartz, and Burko knowingly and maliciously published, treacherous lies of Bobby Davis. Through the steps I am now taking, I will try to establish both stability I've lost in my own life, as well as journalistic and credibility that ESPN has so easily abandoned during the indefensible coverage of Bobby's transparently false story. I'm here today as a wife and a mother who has had to endure the trauma of being smeared in the public as a monster. My family and close friends have stood by me. They know that I am a kind and loving person, but my life has been destroyed through the defamation that I have suffered, and this will last a lifetime. I may never again be able to engage in the charity work that I love so much. I have lived in seclusion for the past 6 months and may never be viewed in my community with the respect that I have earned through the years of my dedication to the city of Syracuse. It is impossible for me to describe here today what ESPN has taken away from me and with Schwartz and Burko. They should apologize and retract these horrible lies reported about me. Only after these defendants have taken responsibility for their reprehensible actions, they should be held accountable, and then justice will be served. I direct now my questions to Lawrence Fisher.
Of course, then Lawrence Fisher directed everybody to the papers, so that's all that Lauie Fine said today.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It was interesting to hear her voice after so long. I mean, let's not forget, we haven't heard Lauie Fine's voice since November of last year, when we all heard it on that bombshell audio recording that was taped by Bobby Davis, apparently at the direction of reporters working for ESPN and potentially the Post-Standard. So we haven't heard her at all. And I think we've heard Bobby Davis's side of the story sort of ad nauseum since then. And I always find it interesting to have someone sort of break their silence. It's such a cliche term that's used in the media, but to hear Lauie Fine come out and her voice crack when she says, "I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother," for me, that I was sort of encouraged to just hear, you know, sort of the other side of this story. We have not heard it.
And to see her, to see how she's holding up. One of the things was the location, and everybody wondered, why is this going to be at Belhurst Castle? And then, you know, the lawyer said today that that's because it was built for a strong woman, and here's a strong woman, Lauie Fine, rebuilding her life, and she really can't live her life in the Syracuse area anymore, so it kind of was to show the point that she has to be away. Do you think that this worked? Do you think that people felt sympathy toward her?
No, I don't. I think Lauie Fine has a tough road ahead in sort of rebuilding her image, as she called it, in Syracuse, and getting back to some of the things that she was known for in the Central New York community. I don't think it can happen for her. I think public opinion is just so incredibly against her husband. We've seen Bernie Fine move clear out of state because of the sentiment towards him. I think the same holds true probably for Lauie Fine as well. It's important to note here, and I've heard a lot of people talk talk about this. Laurie Fine is suing ESPN. Laurie Fine is threatening to sue ESPN. That document, that 44 pages, has not been filed in federal court anywhere. And in fact, her attorney today went so far as to say that he is in conversations with ESPN sort of about some potential resolution here.
They want a settlement.
Although ESPN has prides itself on never having settled any sort of lawsuit that has been brought, such as this.
And let's talk about, if they were to file a lawsuit, the whole issue becomes, is she a public figure? And if you are a public figure, there is a higher standard that you have to prove. You have to prove malice, and one could argue that she is a public figure because she did have a lot of roles that you could say was because of who she was married to. If
you have to know a little bit about the law, but if you watch the entire news conference, it's about 33 minutes long on CNYCentral.com, you will find, listening for those key words, Laurie Fine's attorney, almost like somebody who's taking both lanes of the highway. You know, my dad used to say, "Oh, you're taking your half in the middle." He uses terms that will benefit him if she is a public figure, and he's using terminology both in person today and in the lawsuit that may benefit his case if she is not determined to be a public figure. So they're really kind of straddling that middle lane there.
You just have to wonder if it would have been better to not say anything, just go out and volunteer and try to rebuild your reputation that way. But
no, this is about, no, you don't file a lawsuit just to get your good name back. You don't file a lawsuit just to make yourself feel better. You file a lawsuit for money.
All right. Well, Michael, we want to know what you have to say about this. It is never too late to join in on the conversation. Just go to Facebook or go to our website and leave your comments there.